The courtroom decides she is guilty before she speaks. The air is cold, recycled, stripped of warmth, and every sound feels louder than it should. The scrape of a chair leg, the soft cough in the gallery, the deliberate rustle of paper as the judge turns a page without looking up. The billionaire CEO stands at the defense table with practiced ease, jacket perfectly fitted, posture relaxed, one hand resting lightly on polished wood as if this room belongs to him too. His mouth curves into something that is not quite a smile, more like a private joke. His wife sits alone. Her hands are folded in her lap, fingers clenched so tightly the skin over her knuckles pales, then reddens, then pales again. She keeps her back straight, because slouching would feel like surrender, and surrender is not something she can afford in front of this many eyes. She feels them anyway, every stare landing like weight on her shoulders. Curious faces, judgmental ones, some bored, some eager, people who already know who they believe. She breathes in through her nose, slow, controlled, out through her mouth, the way she taught herself to do when panic presses at her chest. The smell of old wood, paper, and something faintly metallic fills her lungs. It is nothing to calm her. The CEO's attorney clears his throat. "Your Honor," the man says smoothly, stepping forward, "we'd like to begin by addressing the narrative the plaintiff has attempted to construct." The CEO tilts his head slightly, listening, as if this is all mildly interesting. His eyes flick toward his wife for half a second. Not concern, not regret, calculation. She feels it anyway. The attorney gestures toward her with an open palm. "My client has endured months of public insinuation, emotional manipulation, and reputational risk. He has remained silent out of respect. Today, we are here to correct the record." A murmur moves through the courtroom like a small wave. The wife swallows. Her lawyer sits beside her, flipping through notes, jaw tight. He has the look of a man who knows this case is slipping into deeper water than he expected. The judge finally looks up. "Proceed," she says. The CEO's attorney nods. "Thank you, Your Honor." He turns slightly, angling his body so the jury box and the gallery can see him clearly. This case has been framed as a story of betrayal, of power, of cruelty, but stories are not evidence. He pauses, just long enough. "What we will show today," he continues, "is a pattern of instability, a pattern of exaggeration, and a pattern of behavior that raises serious questions about the plaintiff's credibility." The word credibility lands like a slap. The wife's chest tightens. Her fingers twitch, nails pressing into skin. She forces her face to remain neutral, even as heat crawls up her neck. This is not new. He has always known how to make doubt feel like a weapon. The CEO shifts his weight, crossing his arms now, comfortable. He looks at the judge, not at her, as if she is already irrelevant. "Let's begin with something simple," the attorney says. "The plaintiff claims she was blindsided by this divorce, that she was misled, that she was emotionally and financially controlled." He turns, picks up a document, and holds it up. "Yet she signed this agreement willingly. No coercion, no threats, no objections." Her lawyer rises halfway from his seat. "Objection. Overruled," the judge says without hesitation. The wife's breath stutters. The attorney smiles faintly. "Thank you, Your Honor." He places the document down carefully. "We also intend to demonstrate that many of the plaintiff's claims stem not from reality, but from perception, from emotional distress unrelated to my client's actions." The CEO finally looks at her again. This time, he meets her eyes fully. His gaze is calm, almost gentle, and that is what makes it cruel. It is the same look he used at home when he told her she was imagining things, where he said she was too sensitive, where he suggested rest, therapy, silence. Her throat tightens. And finally, the attorney says, voice lowering, "We will show that my client has been extraordinarily patient, even generous." The CEO steps forward before the attorney can continue. Just one step. It draws the room's attention instantly. "If I may," he says. His voice is smooth, unhurried, carrying easily across the room. The judge nods. "I never wanted this to become a spectacle," he says. "I asked for privacy. I asked for dignity. But there comes a point where allowing falsehoods to stand becomes irresponsible. He turns slightly toward his wife now, still not fully facing her. I cared for her. I supported her. I protected her from pressures she didn't understand. A ripple of reaction moves through the gallery. Sympathy. Approval. She wasn't prepared for the realities of my world. He continues gently. And instead of acknowledging that, she chose to rewrite our marriage as something it wasn't. Her lawyer stands again. Your Honor. The judge raises a hand. Let him finish. The wife's stomach drops. The CEO exhales softly as if burdened by honesty. I'm not here to punish her. I'm here to move on. Then he delivers it. Quietly. Cleanly. I only asked the court to see her for who she truly is. The silence afterward is heavy. Dense. It presses down on her ears until they ring. Her lawyer sits slowly. He does not look at her. He stares at the table, jaw clenched hard enough to ache. She realizes then, this is not just about money, or divorce, or reputation. This is about erasing her. The judge scribbles something on her pad. The sound of pen on paper feels final. The wife's pulse pounds in her ears. She opens her mouth to speak, then closes it. Her voice feels trapped somewhere behind her ribs. If you have ever watched someone be talked over, talked down, and talked into silence, you recognize this moment. The one where truth doesn't matter yet. Power does. Call your first witness, the judge says. The attorney nods. Yes, Your Honor. He turns toward the clerk. The defense calls. The courtroom doors open. Not loudly, not dramatically, just enough for the hinge to creak. Heads turn, one by one. Even the judge looks up, irritation flickering across her face. An older woman steps inside. She is not dressed like the rest of them. No tailored suit, no polished heels. She wears a simple dark coat, worn at the cuffs, her hair pulled back neatly. Her posture is straight despite her age, shoulders squared with a quiet strength that does not ask permission. The wife freezes. Her breath catches so sharply it hurts. Mother. The clerk looks down at her list, confused. Excuse me, ma'am. I know, the woman says calmly. I was not announced. Her voice carries without effort. It is steady, unapologetic. The CEO's attorney frowns. Your Honor, we were not informed of. The judge raises a hand. One moment. The mother's eyes find her daughter instantly. Not pity, not panic, just recognition. A look that says, I see what they're doing to you. The wife's chest tightens, emotions surging dangerously close to the surface. She presses her lips together, willing herself not to break now. Not in front of him. The CEO turns slowly. For the first time, his expression changes. Just a flicker, a tightening around the eyes, a calculation rerunning. He did not expect this. The mother steps forward, holding a thick folder against her chest. The edges are worn, the weight of it obvious even from a distance. I was told this case was about the truth, she says. I'm here to make sure it is. The room holds its breath. And somewhere deep inside the wife, something shifts. Not relief yet, not hope, but the unmistakable feeling that the story is no longer his to control. If you stay for what happens next, you'll understand why some humiliations look permanent until the wrong door opens. The judge studies the woman at the center aisle like an inconvenience that refuses to explain itself. This court does not allow interruptions, she says. Her voice is firm, clipped. If you're here to observe, you may take a seat. The mother does not move. I am here to testify, she replies. No tremor, no apology. A murmur ripples through the courtroom. The CEO's attorney turns sharply. Your Honor, the defense was not notified of any additional witnesses. The judge's eyes narrow. Are you listed anywhere in these filings? No, the mother says. Because I was never meant to be. The CEO shifts again. This time it is not graceful. His jaw tightens, the relaxed ease draining from his posture in increments so small most people miss it. His gaze fixes on the folder in her hands. The wife feels heat rush behind her eyes. She does not look at her mother. She is afraid if she does, she will shatter. This is irregular, the attorney insists. And prejudicial. The mother finally takes another step forward. So is what he did to her. Silence slams down hard enough to make the judge inhale sharply. That is enough, the judge says. You will address the court respectfully, or you will leave. The mother inclines her head once. Of course. She turns slightly, just enough to face the judge fully. My name is Humiliated. I am a plaintiff's mother, and I am in possession of documents that directly contradict the defense's claims. The judge hesitates, just for a second. Then she gestures. Approach the bench. The CEO's attorney is already on his feet. Your Honor. Approach, the judge repeats. The mother walks forward. Each step echoes. The sound feels deliberate, measured like time being counted down. She places the folder on the bench carefully, as if setting something fragile down, or dangerous. The judge opens it. Her eyes move fast at first, then slower. Her mouth tightens. The wife watches from her seat, heart pounding so loudly, she is certain the people beside her can hear it. Her lawyer leans forward slightly, sensing a shift but not yet understanding it. The judge looks up. These are financial records. Yes, the mother says. Originals. The CEO's attorney steps closer. Your Honor, without proper authentication. The judge raises a finger. One moment. She flips another page. Then another. The CEO feels it now. The subtle tilt of the room. The way attention slides just a fraction away from him. The judge exhales. These accounts were never disclosed. The attorney opens his mouth. They were never meant to be, the mother says quietly. The CEO steps forward. Your Honor, this is highly inappropriate. These documents. Sit down, the judge says sharply. He freezes. She looks at him fully now. You will not speak unless addressed. A stir moves through the gallery. Cameras are not allowed, but phones vibrate anyway. Someone whispers his name. The wife's pulse hammers. She forces herself to breathe. In, out. She still does not look at her mother. The judge turns to the clerk. Call a recess. 10 minutes. The gavel strikes. Everything explodes at once. The CEO's attorney leans in close, voice urgent, whispering fast. The CEO shakes his head once, sharply, eyes never leaving the bench. His confidence has not vanished, but it has fractured. Tiny cracks run through it now. The wife sits frozen. Her lawyer turns toward her. Why didn't you tell me about this? I didn't know, she whispers. He studies her face, searching for deception. Finding none, his shoulders sag slightly. Something in him recalibrates. The courtroom empties in a rush of sound and movement. The wife stays seated until the last second, then rises slowly, legs stiff. She feels unsteady, as if the floor might tilt. Her mother stands near the aisle, waiting. They look at each other then. The wife's breath breaks. You weren't supposed to be here. Ruth studies her daughter's face with a quiet intensity. Neither were half the things that happened to you. You could ruin everything, the wife whispers. He's powerful. So is your father, Ruth says. Until he wasn't. The wife flinches. Her lawyer approaches cautiously. Ma'am, I'm going to need to understand exactly what you brought into my courtroom. Ruth meets his gaze. You will. In time. The CEO's voice cuts through the hum. She has no standing. The wife turns sharply. He is close now. Too close. You drag her into this, he says to Ruth. His tone is low, controlled, venom hidden beneath polish. You have no idea what you're doing. Ruth does not raise her voice. I know exactly. He smiles thinly. You always did think you understood things beyond your reach. And you always thought money made you untouchable. His smile falters. Just barely. The judge returns. Everyone scrambles back into place. The air feels charged now, buzzing with something dangerous. Proceed, the judge says. The defense attorney stands, visibly rattled but determined. Your Honor, before we address these so-called records, we request to introduce our own evidence. He gestures to the clerk. Play Exhibit D. The lights dim slightly. A screen flickers to life. The wife's stomach drops. Audio fills the room. Her voice. Clear. Calm. I feel like he controls everything, the voice says. Sometimes I think I'd do anything just to escape. Gasps ripple. The CEO watches her closely now. Not smug. Curious. The recording continues. I know it's wrong, but sometimes I imagine things going wrong for him, just so I can breathe. The audio cuts. The courtroom is silent. The defense attorney turns to the judge. Your Honor, this recording demonstrates intent, instability, a mindset rooted in resentment. The judge looks at the wife. Did you say this? The wife's mouth opens. Her mother steps forward. That recording, Ruth says calmly, is incomplete. The attorney scoffs. Objection. Ruth turns slightly, addressing the judge directly. May I? The judge hesitates, then nods. Briefly, Ruth opens the folder again and removes a small device. This is the full session, with timestamps, recorded legally, including what was said immediately before and after. The CEO's face drains of color. That device, he says sharply, was obtained illegally. Ruth meets his eyes. By your therapist, who quit 2 weeks later. The courtroom erupts. The judge bangs the gavel. Order. Ruth's voice cuts through the noise. You edited her pain to make her sound dangerous. The wife stares at the screen, heart pounding, memories crashing back. The room, the couch, the way she had whispered those words because she thought no one else would hear. The judge looks at the CEO. Is this recording altered? His attorney opens his mouth. The CEO does not answer. The silence stretches. And for the first time since this began, the balance shifts visibly. The judge exhales slowly. We will hear the full recording. The CEO's hand curls into a fist. The wife feels dread coil tight in her stomach. Whatever comes next will change everything. There will be no going back. No quiet ending. If you think this was his worst move, you haven't heard what he cut out. The courtroom lights hum softly as the full recording begins. The wife grips the edge of the table, knuckles whitening again, but this time it is not from helplessness. It is from recognition, from memory returning in sharp, unwelcome flashes. Her voice fills the room, quieter than before, layered with exhaustion. I don't want anything bad to happen to him, the recording says. I just want to feel like I exist without asking permission. A pause, fabric rustling, a breath drawn shakily. I'm scared of how small I've become. The room shifts. People lean forward without realizing they're doing it. This is no longer sensational. It is intimate. The therapist's voice follows, gentle, measured. Do you feel unsafe? Another pause. Yes, her voice answers. Not physically, not like that. But if I leave, he'll take everything. My name, my work, even the parts of myself I built before him. The CEO stares straight ahead now. His jaw works slowly, like he is chewing something bitter. The recording continues. He tells me no one will believe me. Her voice says that he can make me disappear without touching me. The sound cuts. The silence that follows is not empty. It is heavy, loaded. The judge sits back slightly, her expression altered in a way that cannot be undone. She looks at the defense table, then at the wife. This changes context, she says quietly. The CEO's attorney stands, tension sharp in his movements. Your Honor, regardless of emotional nuance, the plaintiff admits resentment toward my client. The wife considers the question. I resent who I became with him. A murmur spreads. The attorney presses. And you want revenge. She shakes her head once. I want separation. He leans closer. At any cost. She meets his gaze. At the cost of telling the truth. The judge nods. Defense may step back. The CEO rises suddenly. I have something to say. His attorney reaches for him. Too late. The judge fixes him with a warning look. This better be relevant. The CEO steps forward, voice controlled but edged now. I loved her. I protected her. Everything she had because of me. The wife's breath catches. Not in pain. In clarity. She leans toward the microphone. That's the problem. The judge gestures for her to continue. You believe provision replaced partnership, she says. That silence was gratitude. That endurance was love. The CEO's face hardens. You're rewriting history. No, she replies. I'm remembering it without your voice over mine. Something shifts then, not just legally, personally. The judge watches the exchange carefully. Mr., she says his name. Do you deny restricting her access to funds? Yes. Ruth steps forward, unable to remain still any longer. Then explain why the accounts were flagged the moment she contacted a lawyer. The CEO spins toward her. You manipulated her. Ruth's voice is calm. I reminded her who she was before you. The courtroom hums with tension. The judge exhales slowly. I am ordering an immediate injunction on all shared assets pending review. The CEO's head snaps up. You can't. I can, the judge says. And I just did. The wife's heart pounds. Relief threatens, but dread follows close behind. She knows him. He does not lose quietly. The CEO leans toward his attorney, whispering fiercely. Papers shuffle. A new folder appears. The attorney turns back to the judge. Your Honor, the defense calls its final witness. The clerk reads the name. The wife's stomach drops. It is someone she trusted, someone who knows things no one else should. The person steps into the room, avoiding her eyes. The CEO straightens, confidence flickering back like a dying flame, catching air. The wife realizes then, this is his last move, and it is meant to destroy what the court has just begun to give back to her. If this witness speaks, her identity may not survive it. The witness does not look at her when they take the stand. The room tightens around that absence alone. The wife's breath slows instinctively, the way it always does when something inside her recognizes danger before her mind catches up. She keeps her face still, even as memories collide in her chest. Late nights, confidences shared in whispers, promises made in the quiet spaces where truth is supposed to be safe. The CEO sits straighter now, not relaxed, alert. This is his last card. The defense attorney approaches the witness with a practiced calm. Please state your name and relationship to the plaintiff. The witness does. A former assistant, a confidant, someone who once held her hand when she cried in a restroom stall during charity gala she was not allowed to leave early. The attorney nods. You were present in the marriage, correct? Yes. You saw the dynamics, the arguments, the instability. The word hangs there. The wife closes her eyes for half a second, then opens them. She does not look away. The witness swallows. I did. The attorney's voice softens, coaxing. Did the plaintiff ever express intentions of harming my client? The wife's heart thuds once. Hard. The witness hesitates. The silence stretches. The CEO leans forward slightly. His gaze pins the witness like a reminder of consequences. She spoke, angrily sometimes. The witness says finally. She said things when she was overwhelmed. The attorney presses. Things like, the witness glances at the wife for the first time. Guilt flickers. Then fear overtakes it. She said she wished he would lose everything. The witness says that he deserved to suffer. A wave moves through the courtroom. Murmurs. Heads shaking. Judgment eager to return. The wife's fingers curl slowly into her palm. She feels the old instinct rise. The need to explain, to soften, to make herself more palatable. She resists it. The defense attorney turns to the judge. Your Honor, this establishes motive. Emotional volatility. A desire for destruction. The judge's gaze sharpens. Plaintiff, the wife leans into the microphone. Yes, she says calmly. I said those words. The courtroom stills. She continues before anyone can interrupt. I said them in a private conversation after discovering my name had been removed from the company I helped build. After being told my opinions were bad for optics. After learning my email was monitored. The CEO's attorney snaps. Objection. Let her speak, the judge says. The wife keeps her eyes on the judge now. I said those words because I was drowning. Not because I wanted to hurt him, but because I wanted the harm to stop. The defense attorney shakes his head. Anger does not excuse intent. Ruth rises. The judge looks at her, pauses, then nods once. Ruth steps forward, voice steady but edged with something sharp. Intent requires power. She turns toward the witness. Did she ever have the power to act on those words? The witness opens her mouth, closes it. No, she says quietly. She didn't. Ruth turns to the judge. But he did. The CEO slams his hand on the table. This is absurd. The judge's voice cuts through him like steel. You will control yourself. Ruth continues, unflinching. He had the power to freeze accounts, to rewrite contracts, to isolate, to threaten reputation. She opens the folder one last time and removes a single page. And he had the power to do something else. She hands it to the clerk, who passes it to the judge. The judge reads. Her expression changes completely. The room holds its breath. This, the judge says slowly, is a medical directive. Ruth nods, filed without her knowledge, declaring her unfit to make financial or legal decisions. Signed by a physician who later received a donation to one of his foundations. Dassault stands abruptly. That's a lie. The judge looks at him. Is it? The CEO's mouth opens. No words come out. The judge exhales, long and controlled. You attempted to legally incapacitate your wife. The CEO's attorney stammers. Your Honor, this is... Enough, the judge says. She turns to the witness. You may step down. The witness does so quickly, head bowed, shame trailing behind her. The judge faces the courtroom. This court has seen manipulation disguised as care, control disguised as generosity. She looks directly at the CEO, and a deliberate attempt to erase a person under the guise of protection. The wife feels something loosen in her chest. Not relief yet, recognition. I am ruling, the judge continues, that all shared assets are to be immediately separated. The plaintiff retains her name, her work, and full access to her finances. The CEO's face drains of all color. Additionally, the judge says, this court is referring evidence of financial misconduct and coercion to the appropriate authorities. A gasp ripples through the gallery. The CEO shakes his head. You can't do this. The judge meets his eyes. I just did. The gavel strikes. Final. Unavoidable. The wife sits very still. For a moment, she feels nothing. Then everything. Her lawyer leans toward her, voice thick. You're free. She nods once. Slowly, Ruth stands beside her. Not touching, just present. The CEO is still standing when the courtroom begins to empty. Alone now. Smaller. Stripped of the room's belief. As the wife walks past him, he speaks one last time. You'll regret this. She stops. Turns. Her voice is quiet. Certain. No, I finally won't. She walks out with her mother beside her. The door's close behind them. Outside, the air feels different. Lighter. Real. If you stayed until the end, you know this was never about a billionaire losing in court. It was about a woman being returned to herself. And no amount of money can appeal that.